make sure you're ready to party and have a good time with an amazing guest. As we now take it over to Wind Me Down with the host, DJ Sidekick on the ones and twos.
We're going to do it like this, y'all. We're about to bring up next, y'all. In just a minute, Ty Davis. Get ready for it. Come on in. Get comfortable. Another episode, y'all. Let's go. About to bring to the stage, y'all. This is our 7th episode of Wind Me Down Kick. In case you missed any of the episodes before, they're available on YouTube, channel DJ SKEG. Go check them out. Subscribe, like, share, tell a friend. But we're about to get started. You've seen her on everything on the stage. She's been on Chocolate Sunday stage. She's been on our virtual shows a couple of times. She did Kevin Hart present Heart of the City. They call her the Clubhouse Oprah. I need to know how she did that. I watched that happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I need y'all to take off your, unmute yourselves. Unmute yourselves. Make some noise for the comedian, Ty Davis. Noise out there, make some noise. Hey, Ty. Yeah, we got Ty Davis in the building, y'all. Or should we say, AKA Oprah? How you doing, Ty?
I'm wonderful. How are you, Sidekick?
Yo, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you again for doing this. I know you be busy as hell, so you know, we're gonna talk about how you took over TikTok, Reels, Instagram. I know I said she was a bored motherfucker. She took over it all. Like, yep, you know what? Fuck it. Ty, give me your full name and where you from, born and raised. What's up?
Whoa. Well, my full name is, well, I'm not going to tell you the middle name because I don't like it, but okay. My name is Tiana Davis, and I'm from Fort Bragg, North Carolina. It's in Fayetteville, but I started my comedy career and all of my family is from Baltimore, Maryland, so that's where I'm at now.
Baltimore, stand up. Okay, I see you. So that's where you went to high school at and everything?
No, I went to high school in Germany, so.
Wow. Okay, you're an Army kid. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how was that, moving around, as soon as you meet somebody, you got to let them go because you're off to the next move? How was that?
Yeah, I mean, it was, it's difficult. And I think that's probably where the comedy social butterfly thing kicks in because you got to meet friends quick and you don't know how long you're going to be there. So you just try to fit in really fast. And I think that's where the comedy as a defense mechanism came into play because I was always like this since I was a kid.
Got it. So, in that age, coming up, Army kid, what group, talking music now, what group, band, artist at that age, high school, junior high, was on your wall, I guess in your backpack because you was moving. So, who was that person that you loved and you?
It was for sure 112, Where the Players Dwell. It was very much Jodeci.
Oh yeah, you was into that, huh?
Yeah, huge fan of Mary J. Blige. Okay, now around that time, I also, and I don't want to be judged.
Okay.
Huge fan of the Spice Girls. Like, turn up. What are we talking about? Yeah. If you want to be my lover, what are we talking about?
That's what you was doing? The Spice Girls was just, okay.
Gotta get with my friends. That was my shit.
Yes.
Okay. So, at that time, what was your go-to song? Like, what was that song that you had to rock out to? That was your.
Oh, around that time, it was. I can't remember this other group. It was this other group that was like, "I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie." That was my shit. I cannot remember it, but that when that used to come on, I would get turned up. But
Mo Bay said, "Spice Girls for life." Hilarious. That was it for you, huh?
I feel like I'm.
So when did you fall in love with hip hop? What was that era? What was that? What part was that you like? Yeah, that's it right there for me.
So I was raised by military parents, right?
Okay.
So very strict, not allowed to do a whole lot of stuff. But I remember like that era where DJ Quick and Yo-Yo and you know, Snoop Dogg, like when he like his first album, him and Dr. Dre, like that was cool, like the clean stuff. My mom would let me do the clean stuff, and I liked it. But whenever she would hear the explicit stuff, even though I had the clean version, it was like, oh, nah, you can't listen to that. But it wasn't until like I got older and I just like Nas made me listen. Like, cause he's a lyricist. So it was like Nas and Andre 3000. So like their music, I like music where the words mean something. So I really fell in love when it was like that Outkast, Nas, that whole boom, Tupac, Biggie, because they were saying stuff, not just
right, just shake your ass, pop your
just making sounds. Yeah.
Right. So now you know, a Brooklyn kid here. You did a TikTok. Yeah, you did a TikTok, and I was kind of heartbroken, even though you came off with it, but I was kind of heartbroken. So can you show me what Can you get that back to me one more time? I want to see it live to see if you know these words.
So you want it from that point of the video? Because I know the whole song.
I know. You can just jump into that point right there.
Okay. In my defense, it was a stitch. So if you're on TikTok, when you do a stitch, that means like a creator has a video and you take like maybe 3 to 5 seconds of their video. They're usually asking you a question and then the rest of the video is your answer. So it was this battle rap guy on TikTok and he was like, what's the most disrespectful bar you ever heard? And I chose Rockefeller died of AIDS. That was the end of his chapter. And that's the guy y'all chose to name your company after. Put it together. I rock hoes, y'all rock fellas. And now y'all trying to take my spot, fellas, Philly's hot rock fellas, put you in a dry spot, fellas, in a pine box with 9 shots from my Glock, fellas. Foxy got you hot because you kept your face on her puss. What you think you getting girls now because of your looks? Negro, please. You know mustache having with whiskers like a rat compared to beans you whack, and your man stepped on and made you take the blame you asked. You went from jazz to hanging a cane to herb to big, and Eminem murdered you on your own shit. You a dick rotten. You love the attention. Queens niggas, run you niggas. Ask Russell Simmons. That's all I said.
I hate this song. What?
No, listen, I know the whole song. I know the whole song.
I hated that battle. I mean, he
Why'd you hate it though?
Because I'm a Brooklyn. I gotta roll with my team. You know, Jay came and Jay did his thing, but that song was just, yeah, it was like
that's like on my like list, number 1 diss track of all time.
I put number 2. No Vaseline by Ice Cube was number 1 for me.
Number 2 is number 2 on my list is No Vaseline.
No Vaseline, okay. You know, he was real disrespectful. Even how you did it, you made it even hurt even more. Like
he toe tagged and body bagged the whole clip. I actually did No Vaseline for TikTok, but they muted it, so they don't like when I be saying stuff now.
Oh, like you ain't.
I be getting in trouble.
Okay, so what song? If you at a dance club, you at a club, you with the others, you with your friends, and this song hit the speakers, and you got to get on the dance floor. What were you working on that?
All right, so this I think came out, I want to say late 90s, early 2000s, and it's like when you hear before the beat drops, like every lady will know that it's these violins. And when you hear those violins, it's like you start gearing up, you run into the floor, and by the time the beat drop, you in a full twerk, Cisco, thong song, final answer, said what I said, today, tomorrow, yesterday, that's the song, I'm getting up.
This thing right here.
Like,
ooh, that dress so scandalous. And you know another nigga
full twerk.
that thing like who's the
I'll snatch this wig off right now. Cut it off.
Just like go to full split on the month. So, Ty, what age was it when you got the comedy bug? Like, how did that come about? What made you want to do comedy? Traveling, state to state, country to country.
I was 34 years old when I got hit by the comedy bug.
Serious?
Yeah, like I never wanted to be a stand-up comedian. I always enjoyed comedy. I liked watching it, but I never was like, I'm gonna try that. People would actually be like, Ty, you funny. You should try stand up. And I'd be like, nah, I'm just funny around y'all or with the homies. Like, I can't do what they do. And I never forget this. This was 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And my life was in complete and utter chaos. Like everything, lost my man, lost my house, lost my job, lost my car, everything gone, everything bad. And my homegirl that I used to work with was like, we should really, go do an open mic. Cause we always used to cut up at work and make people laugh. And they'd be like, yo, you should take that act on the road. And I was like, yeah, we're going to do it. And so I had quit the job because I knew I was about to get fired. So I had quit the job because I had another job.
Yeah,
I knew I was about to get fired. So I'm at the other job, and my homegirl actually goes and does an open mic one day, and her friends uploaded it to Facebook. This is when Facebook was still dominating these streets. And I was like, yo, you really did it. Congratulations. She was like, now it's your turn. And I was like, what? I thought this was like a bucket list. We was just playing type thing. And she was like, nah, you got to do it. So she put me in touch with the guy she does the show with. And I was like, well, people have been telling me for years to try stand up. And what's the worst that can happen? They don't laugh and they boo me. It ain't worse than all this other stuff that's going on right now. So, just go do it. I did it. Now, I ain't never done the crack or the heroin before, but I heard if you do it, that one time you done. And when I did my first set, it was November 8th, 2014 at a spot called Chappie's in Baltimore. I did like 6.5 minutes and I was done. I have been chasing the stage ever since that day.
Wow.
And I never stopped doing stand-up. I was just find the open mics and find where the comics hung out. And then I started to buy books and study and just learn the mechanics of stand-up. So actually the longest time I've ever been away from the stage was this pandemic. Outside of that, I was hitting the stage.
Dope. Okay, so give me your favorite 5 comics and why.
Favorite 5 comics, not including me. Because I include myself.
Right? I mean, no, you can put yourself in that.
Oh, okay. Because I be including myself. I say me because it is the only thing that I've ever done in my whole life that I feel purpose-driven while doing. And it brings me a sense of peace and love and happiness that I've always sought externally in other people, places, and things. So it's the one thing that's mine and belongs to me, and I love how I fight for it. So that's why I'm one. Okay. Of course, my other favorite is Samore, and Samore is one of the queens of comedy. To those that may not know, and Samore, Monique is the second. Right. The reason that they're so important to me, like all of the queens for sure, is because they were the first women that I really got to see out there talking and doing their thing. And it was like, whoa, it was like, we can do this. Like, because the only strong and powerful woman that I ever knew was my mama and my aunties and my grandma. So it wasn't a lot of representation outside of what I grew up around. And I was like, oh, we can do this. And a lot of like my style of dress and all of that, I model after Samore because she just got hella swag and she funny and she just, she's good. And I love Monique. Owns the entire stage. Yeah. I love Monique because of, how she makes her audience feel. Like she makes her people feel like they know her, like she has an intimate connection with them. And if you've ever had Monique give you a hug, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And she just seems so giving and loving with her spirit. And she's funny. And she was another one that was unapologetic. I'm in here, turn up, what we doing today? And then Chris Rock. I think he is ridiculously talented and funny, and his comedy is so smart. I really like smart comedy. And even though he does acting, like if I never saw him in another movie again, I wouldn't be sad. But if I never saw him do stand-up again, like I would be so sad inside because I think he's brilliant. I think he's brilliant.
Yeah.
And I've watched every special that he's ever done. And my last, wait, how many is that? Me,
That was 4 right
Monique,
there,
some
right?
more.
One more.
Chris. Damn, I got one more. Okay.
One more.
Dang. Why you do that? Okay. Okay.
What are we doing?
Dave Chappelle,
Yes.
for similar reasons that I love Chris Rock. I've been a fan of Dave Chappelle since like early in his career because one of his OGs and people that raised him up in comedy is Tony Woods out of DC.
Right.
And so Tony Woods, like, amazing. I love him. And
Right.
he's helped me so much, you know, as I've grown up in the ranks. But I wasn't a fan. And don't DM me, don't text me, don't say nothing. Because I said what I said and what I'm about to say. I didn't really watch the Chappelle show. That wasn't really my
Say
thing.
what?
Like I saw a couple of the episodes, but I wasn't a faithful watch every one. And so during the pandemic, I was like, I'm gonna finally sit down and watch all of the day of the Chappelle show. But then it was like, you can't watch it because he boycotted. But I think he got his money, so I think it's okay.
Right.
So okay, so I'm gonna watch it. But I think he's just really smart, and I love how he just like he said what he said. Like
And
he
stands by
like
it.
sir, this is where I'm at, and if you don't like it, that's cool. I'm just not for you. And all of those comics that I named, they just like, look, this is what I'm giving you, and if you don't like it, I understand it and I respect it. You don't have to, but I'm here for the people that fuck with it, and that's collectively why all of those are my favorite.
Got it. So what type of comedy do you do? What is your, I mean, do you do political? Are you more mainstream? Are you
Politics
more
can
about,
go to hell. I don't know, because
no?
I don't
Okay.
like I don't like learning politics. You know what I mean? Like politics isn't something fun. So I do more of observational, personal experience type comedy. I only want to talk about and make fun of the things that I know. So like when it comes to my life, me being a mother, a grandmother, my kids, you know, my family, like I can talk about that all day. I never run out of material or forget the material because these are things that have happened. But then
Pretty
it's
happy to.
like the things that I observe and I do comedy about, I don't forget that either because it's how I feel about things. It's how I see the world. So, but politics, oh, no, I don't, you will never hear me saying, yeah, how about Congress? No,
No? Okay.
I
I
don't,
hear you.
I don't fool with that. Mm-mm.
So being a comic, and I know some comics look down on this, a couple of things they look down on, but I'm going to ask you. So how do you feel about comics using music in their bit? Like through the bit or opening up the, you know, their routine with music, or
I
most of
mean,
their setup is music?
I think that's cool and it works for them. I never took that route because my thought process was always, what if there's no DJ? What if the
Right.
power goes out? So to those people that do it, I know a lot of them that do it well, but it just wasn't something for me. But if it works for them, cool. But I know that when I got my first TV opportunity, one of the things was, hey, you can't do any singing or have any music playing because we have to get it cleared.
Clear.
And I
Right.
started to think about like, oh snap, like I know friends that probably couldn't have done this because they got a whole set
Right.
filled with music. So I was actually grateful that I didn't have that as, you know, a thing for me. But, you know, shout out to the people that do it. I don't do it, but shout out to them.
Right. Right. So how do you feel? I mean, with you being 2014, they would consider you the new into the game. So how
Oh
do you feel
yeah.
about, yeah, very. And that you said that, it shocked the hell out of me because the first time I saw you on Chocolate Sunday stage, you were so, I won't say poised, but the way you came on there, it was like, oh, she just ain't been to LA. Like, she been doing this for a while. She just ain't been here, or she ain't been to Chocolate Sundays. So you said 2014. It's like, wow, that was right around the time you came to us. So with the social media game that you clearly read about, sold your soul to or something because you own it now. How do you feel about social media, you know, in the comedy world right now? They
Like
say that people are fast tracking past the grind and the grit and the the road and the one show at a time to 2 seconds later they're instant stars.
the way I feel about social media today, like this moment right now, is that it can go to hell. I am currently shadow banned on Instagram and TikTok for
Really?
violating the community guidelines, whatever.
Wow.
Um, I have seen it do great things for other people, and it's done great things for me. The Ether
Okay.
video that
Right.
went viral, I actually had a company reach out to me to do voiceover work because they
Oh,
liked my
dope.
voice. The deal didn't go through because they couldn't pay my number. So, but the opportunity came because of that. I think social media is great. I'm happy that I was fortunate enough to get tough standing on stage doing the stand-up part of it.
Right.
Because I've seen people who skyrocketed out of here on social media, but then when it comes to stage, they didn't have that time to really develop and get strong, and they had to take another path. But it works for those people. I'm happy for them, but I'm gonna be honest. When Earth really starts to reopen,
Right.
I'm not gonna be on the TikTok doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm gonna be at
Right.
work on stage. So
Back at it again. I hear you. So
yeah.
how do you feel about comics who um let's say steal material or have people write material for them by you coming into your own and you've been taking an old school way of doing it and you going back to it? How do you feel about that?
So comics that steal material
Yeah.
off with their heads.
Right.
It's lazy. It's stealing, it's plagiarism, and I think it is incredibly disrespectful to the culture, the craft, and to the person that they stole it from. I've had things taken from me, and I've had people call me and say, "Hey, we hear you on Sirius XM. I mean, it ain't you, but it's your shit," and there's nothing you can do about it.
Wow.
Um, so to the people that steal jokes, go to hell. Now to the people who have people write for them, I don't see a problem with that because I've
Okay.
seen countless comics that are beautiful, masterful writers, but they're just not good performers. But then I've seen people
Right.
that are extremely entertaining and great performers, but they can't write worth
Can't
shit.
write for
I
shit.
think
Right.
you know what I mean. So I think it's
Right.
it's a place for them to be together. Like I've written, for some people in the past, and
They would
but
give you
I
some money?
kind of like not like whole sets. You know what I mean? Like I might have threw somebody something like, "Hey, this might work for
Oh,
you," or
okay. Right.
you know but I'm not like I had someone reach out to me and say, "Hey, we want you to write a whole set for this person." I won't say their name. And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. What's your budget?" And they were like, "Oh no, there's no budget. It'll be a great opportunity for exposure for you." How is it exposure for me if
How?
I'm
Right.
not the one that's saying these jokes?
Yeah.
I
You
can't
can't
pay
even.
T-Mobile in exposure. I respectfully decline.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I know that I'm going to get to a place because I manifest, I decree and declare that one day I'm going to be so busy and popping in these streets that I'm going to need a team to help me structure and
Right.
conceptualize my stuff together. Because when I'm making millions of dollars and I got 2 films that I got to do this week, and then I got a TV show, and then I got to crank out an hour for whoever is buying it, I'm going to need my people around me to be like, all right, this is what we doing. So I don't see anything wrong with people having writers.
Got it. So one of your
But if you
biggest
steal
platforms
and
that you've
fuck
been on for
you, I'm sorry.
the words of Ty. And one of your biggest platforms that you've been on was Kevin Hart, Heart of the City. Was
You
that
said what?
one of the biggest platform, one biggest specials you did was Kevin Hart,
Yeah.
Heart of the City? How was that? How was that coming in, especially in 2014? That's a major, stepping on a lot
So
of heads to get to that spot.
so I started stand up in 2014, and we did Heart of the City auditions and taping in 2018. So at the time I
That's
was like I was
phenomenal.
under 4 years in, and it
That's
was
unheard of.
That's what I was told. And I was like,
That's
well,
unheard of.
I was like, well, I'll audition like everybody else. And I didn't pick
Right.
me, they picked me. And
Right.
I was incredibly grateful. I was happy we got to tape in my hometown at a venue that wasn't strange to me, because it was a venue where we go every Wednesday and do open mics and it was crazy. I'm trying not to cry because it's almost Shark Week and I'm super emotional. One of my, I don't know, was that TMI? My bad. I never forget this. One of my little brothers said to me years ago, he was like, oh, you doing comedy now? He was like, one day you're going to be in a movie with Kevin Hart. And I was like, and so when I got Heart of the City, my brother called me and was like, I told you. I was like, first of all, nigga, it's not a movie. And second of all, he was like, yeah, but you did meet Kevin Hart. And I was like, true. Yeah. And that experience, that experience was super amazing for me because I had never done TV that's my first TV credit. And the relationships that I built and made with people because of that, that was the reason that I came to LA for the first time. So we came to LA August of 2018, and I had never heard of Chocolate Sundays. Never heard of it, never been to LA. And I was saying, I want to go to LA for my birthday. It was the week of my birthday. So I go out there, we go to Chocolate Sundays, and I was like, hey man, I like this. It feels very much like Def Jam in the 90s. I want a piece of this. And all I said to my mom was, I need to get better and get stronger so that I can come back and do this. And I met Takara when I was out there for the first time. Takara introduced me to Lonnie. And then, I left LA and I didn't come back. I finished working. And then in 2019, I did the American Black Film Festival in Miami and I won. And after that,
give it up for that, y'all. That is a major. That's major than Kevin. God damn. You came in and you won them.
Yeah.
Wow.
I won. And the timing of it. Now, here's the timing of it. We shot Heart of the City in 2018.
Right.
But it didn't come out until 2019. And the season started the night of the competition. Even though my episode wasn't that night. 2 weeks later, my episode was supposed to come out. So the timing of it was Heart of the City, ABFF. I won ABFF. 2 weeks later, my national television debut happens. So it looked like everything was so close together. And I was like, my nigga, I been did this. And so I had a celebration party and my watch party all in one because those two things popped at the same time. And then I did the Apollo a couple months later, and it just,
rolled in 8 years. So, okay, let's talk about it. I know, God dang well, the haters. So I know you had it from every angle. First being a black woman, first being a woman, then a black woman, then a woman in a man-dominant world, then coming in with only 8 years under you for starting, and...
Well, it's really 6, because wait,
6 years, right.
Yeah.
No, yeah. But then it was only 4. I'm sorry, 4. 4 years in, doing all that, how many people you fucked? How many people who was you sleeping with? Because I know you heard it all.
Listen, if you listen to the streets, this thing got over 800,000 miles on it. City miles, ran through, meat curtains dangling. I done slept with everybody. Okay, I done slept with everybody. I slept with everybody. I done stole everybody's jokes. What else? I done backstab, and I was like,
Arby's.
Yeah. And it's still that today. It's a lot of, and I'm like even now people like, yo, Ty thinks it's a pandemic. I'm in the house. I'm not going outside. I'm not doing anything. So I had to figure out, how am I going to stay relevant in a pandemic so that when Earth does reopen, I can go back to work? You got to cut your phone on, sis. I know you hate the computer phone, but you got to get on that thing. And so, but it's definitely a lot of a jealousy. And I've gotten better with toughening up and having thicker skin, because a lot of times the jealousy that comes towards me has nothing to do with me. It's a projection of what somebody feels about themselves. So if you're
Right.
upset that you've been doing stand-up for 12 and 15 and 20 years and you feel like I've gone further than you, maybe you should stop looking at me and talking about me, and maybe you should go back to the lab and figure out what you need to do over there. I attacked my career like I did anything in corporate America. I treated this like that. Like it's very much a business. Like, okay, I want to be at this level, but I need to learn how to do all of this stuff at this level. So however long I got to be an open micer, be an open micer. However long I got to be a host, feature, or whatever. So, and I built a set minutes at a time. I'm still doing the work. This past year, I decided it's time to remodel my hour. Has the world seen my hour? No, but I know that I need a new one. So I'm remodeling my entire hour set. I'm like, because I got to catch up. I listen, because I'm a certain age, and after a while, I ain't gonna be able to play certain roles no more. So I'm trying to be like a sexy auntie or something.
Sexy auntie.
Yeah.
The next door neighbor.
Yeah. I'm trying to be that.
So in the pandemic, sitting around, Apple drops this new, I guess you could say, the app that only iPhones had, and it was like a secret society. And you had to have an iPhone, and then you had to be, was it request in? You had to be sponsored in, basically. Request in. So you hear about it, you get on it, and all of a sudden, weeks come by, and Ty Davis is like major, to the point the man who made it is talking directly to Ty, like, and then we come on one day and we hear, oh, she's the Oprah of Clubhouse. I said, what the?
Okay.
Tell me what? Yeah, how did that even start, and what was the motive? Because you be on there 3 a.m, you be in there 4 a.m, and then I come back up at 8 a.m, you back on. I'm like, this nigga ain't sleeping. So how did you?
So here's the funny thing. Whenever you're destined and you're supposed to do something, it doesn't matter what you do to try to stop that process. Wherever you're supposed to be, you're going to end up in that place. It just may take you a little longer. And I remember months ago, last year, it was around April or May, my home, because I was doing radio. I worked, I was a radio personality. And one of my colleagues was like, yo, it's this new app called Clubhouse. You need to get on it. It's a lot of record execs and A&Rs. I was like, I don't give a fuck about that shit. I do radio for 3 hours a day, 5 days. I don't give a fuck about no rappers, and I don't care about Tay-Tay and them. I'm good. Right. And, just kind of dismissed it. And so the pandemic hits and all of that. And then it's November of 2020. I done got tired of going live on Instagram, and I hadn't gotten to TikTok yet. And and my homeboy was like, you got to get on Clubhouse. I was like, fine, I will get on the Clubhouse. I had like 10 invites. People had kept me, and I was like, I want this. So I finally go in, and for the first 2 days, all I did was listen, just try to figure out what is this app and how does it work or whatever, just listen. And then on my 3rd day, I was like, well, let me start a room and see what happened. I started a room. My first room lasted 22 and a half hours. People, comedians coming in and out. We were talking about everything and nothing. And because the room was open so long, people from different time zones were coming in. And I don't like a lot of chaos. I don't like a lot of mess. So because I have obsessive compulsive disorder, like as a diagnosis. So I need structure. I need things to be in a certain way. So when I'm running a room, have it together. And if you coming in here acting crazy, get your ass out of here. I kick you out the room. And so, and then comics that I knew would end up coming in. And then because they were comics I knew, they knew other comics, and then they would come in. So people started to meet and connect with me through that. Next thing I know, I'm looking at my thing and they're like, yo, you got like over 5,000 followers. I was like, that ain't shit. It's Clubhouse. It was like, it's a new app and you ain't nobody. And I was like, oh, okay. So I don't know if you know Lance Woods. He's a comedian. He's based in Sacramento, I think. So we all playing around one night, and the way I was moderating the room, somebody came in and was being highly like disrespectful and disruptive, and I was like, "Hey, that's not what we do here in this space. Like, we don't run this room like this." And he was like, "Y'all heard her? That's the Clubhouse Oprah." Lance Woods gave me the name Clubhouse Oprah, and everybody else ran with it. So he has sole responsibility for that. And then people started making memes and flyers and stuff like that and sending them to me. And I was
Get
just
your
like,
ass out of here.
yep. And I even have merch because of that. So it became a thing. So, you know.
So has Clubhouse reached out to you? Has there been some kind of, what you doing as much? Have they?
Clubhouse has not reached out to me directly for anything, but there have been people that have been using Clubhouse in a business-like way. I guess I can say it. One of my goals was to get representation, right?
Right.
And because of Clubhouse, I now have representation.
Hey, make the noise, y'all. Clap it up for that. I hear you. I said hard working coming in.
Yay!
So
so I'm really happy about that.
Wait, pause. I want everybody to hear that. So the Kevin Hart, the awards, all
ABFF.
that was ABFF. All you doing it. No reputation, no nothing, just all your hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you just got reputation in, we talk about 2021?
Yeah.
Wow. You did a lot by yourself. I mean, no, seriously, because I know comedy. Like, I've been doing this for almost 15 years. That's unheard of. Yeah. Unheard of. With no, because I'm thinking, okay, she got management behind her. Kevin's manager is her. You on his list at the bottom or somewhere. But
I
you
wish,
did all that.
but no.
You did all that by yourself. That's dope. Yeah. Everybody, please clap your hands for that. Black woman, male dominant world. Like, seriously, y'all don't understand.
I mean, I did research, and like for the ABFF, I just did research. I set goals and said I want to do comedy festivals and get my name out and further my career. And I saw it and I applied. I sent an audition tape for Just for Laughs, the showcase in Montreal.
Right.
I submitted and I was selected to showcase, but I wasn't selected to go. And I didn't see that as, oh, you suck. It was just like, okay, this ain't your time. So I would submit. So I think a lot of people, at least from what I hear, a lot of people aren't willing to do some of the things that I do, which is not fuck these niggas. It's
right. Please make that clear.
It's submitting audition tapes and doing research and finding out where things are and networking. And a lot of the relationships that I built that exist in LA, they didn't start in LA. They started here, like in Virginia, in Philly, in DC, in Baltimore, from them coming here and doing shows. And maybe I was hosting or featuring or in a club or whatever. So I just, I'm just thankful. And I enter this and continue into my career with the spirit of gratitude because, it could be one thing and then I could be out of here. So.
Right. Yeah. Okay, I got one more question for you, then I'm going to open up the floor. So if anybody had a question for Ty, you got the questions. But Ty, we're going to go back to music. What is the first song or album that you snuck and bought, or you bought, that you shouldn't have been buying, but you bought it anyway? What was that?
So we used to have a flea market in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And my mama would take us there every Saturday. And I could buy the tapes that were clean. So I was you can't play with my yo-yo, and I rock rough and stuff I was very much into that. But I really wanted to hear the dirty version of it. So I bought the dirty version of like the Snoop Dogg's and all of that stuff. But it was Aaliyah's album. Her first album. I had asked my mother, could I get it? And she was like, no, because that little girl be saying fast stuff that you don't need to be hearing. And I was like, okay. And so that was the one that I bought without. That's a good song.
Oh, that song, yeah. The album was a nice album. It was a great album. So if y'all have any questions for Ty Davis, please turn your mics on, turn your unmute, and ask for questions if you want to ask. Somebody got a question?
Hey, I got a question. If I can answer it, ask it.
You can answer it. Who's that?
Yeah, my bad. Blink, man. What's the deal? Kick.
What up, Blink? How you doing, family?
I'm good, man. I'm solid, bro. I have to tap in with you. Miss Ty, I really want to know because I learned of you on the Did You Miss Me podcast, and your story was hilarious. Did you really keep that man's casket? I really want to know.
Look at the face.
Did you keep Clarence's casket? Please tell me that story.
Put it like this. I learned a long time ago that magicians are never supposed to give away the trick. So what I will say to you is this: if you were at the homegoing services, then you will know whether or not I did that.
Wow. I'm scared to even ask what that was about.
Hey, man, that's an amazing story.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Somebody else got a question for Ty? Anybody?
I don't have a question. I just have to shout Ty out. My name is Dana, and I've been in your clubhouse room a ton back in December. I got the chessboard in the back. I don't know if you can you.
We got you. Look at the main screen. There you go.
So I just wanted to because your story, and like I got on Clubhouse in December, and so I guess I got on probably not long after. I guess you've probably been on a month, and so I got on when Ali Sadiq and all of you guys were having these amazing conversations, and you were just doing so many and like you said, it ran the gamut, but just the Tone Bell stuff and the movie stuff and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like you've answered all the questions that any of us could ask, and especially any of us as aspiring comics. And your story is just more than amazing and inspiring and all that good stuff. So I don't want to hog the space, but I just know, and I would always be excited because you'd be like, well, Dana always has something smart to add to the room. Like if I ever said anything, you'd always have these. So I'm just excited to be here and be in this Zoom with you. Blessings, sis.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Hey, Ian, where you at, man? Ask your question. I see it up here, but I want you to ask it yourself. Where you at, Ian?
Right here.
I don't know where he's at. He said, oh, there you go.
Okay.
His question was, go ahead.
Yeah, you said in your special on the Kevin Hart, John, that you were doing city outreach coordinating. You still doing that for the young Black men in the community?
It's funny the things
Everybody
that people
remember. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all be remembering stuff I say, but don't nobody remember what I said. The answer to your question is it's a pandemic, so I am on a mancation. However, when Earth reopens, I will resume community outreach coordination, and yeah.
You just made it a very reputable position, huh?
We're looking forward to the end of the pandemic for sure.
Right. Hey, Paul, we got Paul up next. Where you at, Paul? Oh, Paul. What's up, Paul? How you doing? He's on mute? Oh, Paul, you on mute. You got to unmute. You got to unmute, Paul.
Okay.
There we go. There we go, Paul.
Let me see if I can get rid of this. I have really enjoyed listening to your story because you're well planned. You've got objectives that you want to reach, and they're clear. And I never thought of comedy that way. I thought of businesses that way or corporations that way, but I didn't think of a comic, a person doing, show business really basically. Mm-hmm. And I really respect you. I think you're wonderful.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
You got her blushing over here, Paul. Look at her. Hey, Ty, don't be in Paul's DMs, okay? Don't be in Paul's DMs.
I don't know how to work the Zoom. I'm not going to mess with his DMs. I'm going to just be like, Paul, don't go nowhere. Stay right here. Don't go nowhere.
Up next is Angela. We got Angela up next for you, Ty. Angela, what's going on? How you doing?
Ty. My name is Angela Moore. Oh, dang, you can't even
Angela,
see
why
me.
you in the dark?
I'm in the dark.
Like you hiding for somebody?
I'm not trying to hide. I'm not trying to hide. Okay, maybe you can see a little bit better now. I didn't
There you
realize.
go.
But anyway, I met you like a few years ago. You did you were headlining at, I think, the Laugh House out somewhere out in Maryland, like in Columbia, Maryland or something. It was a clean comedy room. And yeah, you're really cool and everything. Yes. And so we're actually Facebook friends. And I wanted to ask you what? Well, it's
What you want to ask, Andrew? Go ahead. Don't let him
no.
mess with you.
I could,
Don't let him mess with you,
but,
Angela.
no, anyway, no.
I got you, Vision.
No,
Vision.
congratulations on your success. But I was just curious to know, you said that you got representation now, and I realize that there's different types of agents and managers. So is your representation like one that's just focused on getting you comedic gigs, or for like all of show business, acting, comedy, yeah.
Right now, because we are at the beginning of our relationship, he does have some objectives and metrics that he is going to need to meet for me to be satisfied. And he has a plan for where he thinks the trajectory of my career could go. So right now he's handling certain areas of my business, other areas I'm still handling. But as I expand, I do plan to have like a literary agent, and I plan on having a voiceover agent. But right now I just have this one person, but Rome wasn't built in a day. So the team is just of two right now. But
that's a hard thing to do when you do it all yourself. It's kind of hard to let somebody come in.
It is. Keep grinding.
After you made those moves, you be like, okay, hey, I did this. What can you do for me? Because I'm already here. So
listen,
if they catch you at the bottom, it's one thing.
Like I was tired, and I was like, I need help. Like I want representation, because some stuff, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't want to deal with. It's and by like I have to manage my own website, which ain't been touched in at least a good year and a half. I got pictures on there of me 50 pounds heavier. That ain't how I look no more. I got new wigs and everything. So it's hard to manage, like, and then it's like your YouTube and your social media, and it's so much. And then there's certain conversations that I don't want to have, like, even when it comes to my money. Like a lot of people, like when people reach out to try to book me for things, and when they leave with the wrong number, I just tell them I'm not available. They thinking I'm booked. No, I'm not available, because that ain't my number.
Oh, okay. Don't want to have to do that fight. I know that's the hardest part right there.
Because I've had people say to me, like, what's your number? And I'm like, I get the details and ask about a show or whatever. And then they're like, oh, well, that's too much. I'm not paying that much for you. Okay, well, you asked me. So find somebody within that budget and, leave it at that. And it's like, now you've wasted my time and tied me up with this. I don't entertain the, hey, I'm thinking about putting on a show. But call me when you got it together. Don't call me when you're thinking about it. And because a lot of times people will try to use you as a consultant to or your relationships with other comics and people. Nah, because if I want to put on a show, I'm gonna put on a show. I don't need you to do that. So I don't be feeling like this shit. I'm tired.
Okay, so I met Ty at Chocolate Sunday. She came and did a show, did a spot, and we was like, I meet them all. They come, they want their music, or they don't want the music, or they just meet me. But me and Ty had to do a show in Arizona. So yeah, it was one of those kind of shows that we was like 3 a.m. going, hey, yo, DM, like, did you get paid yet? Did they get you a deposit? And she was like, she was being very professional at first. She didn't know, we really didn't know each other. But I was just like, yo, she's on the bill. I kind of knew him, and I was like, so how did it get to you? And she was like, she told me the way. About 2 days later, that professional turned to, nigga, they ain't send me my money, so I ain't doing the shit. I was like, word. First night through the morning was like, yes, the reputation did not call me, and I'm feeling kind of at third. So she's like, nigga, I ain't got my money, I ain't doing that shit. And I was like, word, I got it. Visionary speaks. We got another question for you. What's up, Visionary? Great show today. Already.
Thank you. I just want to say shout out to all the women tonight. It's just been amazing. Like, we really did that shit. I mean, the men was good too, but you know, protect black women at all costs. But Ty, I just I appreciate the gems that you've been giving. I've been following you for a minute, and it is really good to see a woman know her worth and not settle.
Right.
So I am extremely inspired by that. And I just wanted to ask you, you know, as I'm a new comic as well, and I don't really fuck with social media like that. So how do you navigate? I know that these times are different. I'm a Def Jam comedy kid. Like, I used to watch that shit religiously when I would get home. And I wish I could just live in the 90s and be a comic in the 90s forever. But now social media has taken over. How do you like navigate just getting that following? Because I know that's a part of like our resume now, to have a large following, and I'm just having a hard ass time because before becoming a comic, I didn't care about who followed me. I didn't need people to like me or anything like that, and now I feel like I'm begging people to be like, please follow me, love me, and I really don't want to care, but Visionary has to. So how do you navigate just building up a social media following?
So when I started in 2014, I'm like 6.5 years in now. But when I started, I was one of those people that rebelled against all forms of social media and even a touch screen. No. I need buttons. I don't have time for any of this. And so I just had to adapt with it. Like when they was like MySpace, I was like, oh, nobody, okay, but what is it? And then when I learned MySpace, it was time to go to Facebook. And then when I learned Facebook, it was time, and I was like, y'all getting on my nerves. And when I started comedy, it was more important to me. I didn't care about the followers. It was more important to me to be good on stage. Because if you are good on stage, the other stuff will find you. When we came into this pandemic, March of last year, March of 2020, on Instagram, I had 9,000 and some change followers because I started to make myself present on social media because I had time to be in the house because I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't performing, shows or canceled. My following on Instagram is now at 32,500 something followers, right? I joined TikTok at the end of December. I didn't start posting videos on TikTok until January. I have like 20,000 followers on TikTok in a period of 4 months. So instead of me, and I used to, I'm not gonna lie to you, I used to be like, oh my God, this picture only got 100 likes. Oh, what time is it? Okay, they opened on the West Coast, now it's time for me. I used to drive myself crazy trying to figure out the algorithm and the analytics. And then I said, this is dumb. I don't have time. I'm somebody's grandmother. Why in the hell is these people loud in this house? They know I'm on the thing. Sorry. But once I removed the focus on, I got to build my audience and whatever. Once I removed my focus from that, I fall in love with the process of doing things, right? So if you see like Dave Chappelle or whoever your favorite comedian is, and you see them doing 1 hour of hardcore, this is the funniest shit you've ever seen, like that part, that's the part that people get so goosepimply about and they fall in love with that. You got to fall in love with all of that little stuff along the way. You got to fall in love with bombing. You got to fall in love with coming up with a 5-minute bit. You got to fall in love with coming up with a 5-minute clean bit. You got to fall in love with doing a 3-minute bit. You got to fall in love with shuffling your set, because if somebody on a show goes before you and they done stepped all over your shit, now you got to adapt, fall in love with the process and not the results. And that is the way that I've remained in this game, because all of this other stuff and the trends and stuff that comes and go, it will drive you crazy. I don't care about my followers. Not saying I don't care about the people that follow me and look at me and whatever, right? Like, I'm not saying fuck them. So if y'all on here, I love y'all. What I'm saying, I love y'all, but I know what my goals are. Like, I've had several videos go viral, and I was like, why did that go viral? And it didn't do anything. It's like, yeah, 500,000 people saw you do this, but that ain't even what you do, Todd. 500,000 people ain't see you do stand up.
Mhm.
So build your
doesn't really
audience,
matter.
but don't get boxed into it, because real stand-ups don't give a fuck about their internet stuff. They don't care. You could walk up in there and be like, yeah, I got 100,000 followers. They're gonna be like, but do you got a hot 15? Get your ass out of here. So you just gotta, focus on what's most important, which is the joke structure, the writing, the material, having a clean set. Like, have a clean set, have a late night set. Like when if somebody called me now and say, hey, you got to do 5 minutes to audition on a Zoom, nigga, I'm ready. Let's go. Would you can't tell jokes about sex. You can't tell jokes about dick or pussy. Okay, nigga, let's go. So have yourself ready for different things. Don't worry about the social media stuff. That'll come. I have not really been anywhere. And in a year, I've amassed a following over 20,000 people on 2 separate platforms.
There you go. There you go. Thanks, visionary.
Thank you.
We got 2 more and we up out of here. Next, Jetta. Jetta, where you at?
I'm right here.
All right.
Hey,
How you doing, Jetta? You did great. You did
Thank
great
you.
tonight too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Ty, first and foremost, I'm from Kinston, North Carolina, so shout out to the North Carolina girl.
Hey, cousin.
Hey, we might be. But my question stems around the business part of show business, and wanted to get your advice to aspiring comedians and comedians just starting out. Talk to us about how you navigated the comedy scene, first getting booked, what type of shows you took, and when you started to, branch off and say, I'm not going to do that type of show. I'm not going to do these type of things. And as you elevated in your career, what advice would you give to us as we navigate taking shows, trying to get into the business, being professional, all of those things?
So, excellent questions. I will answer them all. In the beginning of my career, I took every show. Chitlin Circuit, Big Shower, Funeral Repast, wherever they had a microphone and they wanted somebody to say stuff, I was there. Now, when I started comedy, I had a full-time job with excellent benefits. I was a fraud analyst for Bank of America, had a good job, taking care of my responsibilities. So I didn't really care about making money from stand-up because I had a square job, right? So I would just go to all the open mics and just find out where all the comics would be. And as I did that, I just wanted to be good. I just wanted to be better at stand-up. I met DJs and I met people on the party scene, and I ended up getting a job in radio. Like, I never wanted to be in radio. I never aspired to do that. So like, the comedy led me to radio, and then I was still doing comedy. And I am not advising any of the comedians on here to do this. I'm just telling you what I did. In 2014 is when I started. I quit my job in 2016, my good paying job in 2016, to do stand-up comedy, writing, and radio full time. And when I quit, it forced me to go harder because I didn't know where my next check was coming from. But I knew that if I stayed visible and I stayed present, then I would be like, oh shit, oh, my car insurance is due. Okay, you just got booked at the comedy club. That's 5 shows. Oh, boom, that'll pay that. But when I first started doing comedy, I remember I was doing comedy for like 6 or 7 months. Somebody reached out and was like, how much do you charge for a show? And I was like, I don't know, nigga, whatever you want to give me. Cause I don't know I done got paid in chicken wings and drink tickets and French fries and weed. I done got paid in reefer. But it wasn't until that I was like, when I decided to quit my job, that's when I said, okay, you want to do this professionally. You want to do this for the rest of your life. So now you need to generate income. And then that's when I put together like a business plan and a strategy on how I was going to do my work. I'm not telling nobody on here to quit your job because I don't know what your situation is, but I quit my job and it was, and I haven't been to work since. I don't even know what jobs are like now. I don't even think I could go back to work because I can make money at home on Zoom and on Instagram. And so, but be intentional,
right.
Make a plan. But I took everything, but now there's stuff that I took in the beginning that I won't take now. So,
Ty, is it like,
thank you.
It's something you love to do. And when it's something you love to do, you put way more work in it than you did at that job, but it's only to seem like it because it's like, I love this, so I don't care. I don't care if I got to do 24 hours 7 days a week. I don't care because it's what and you're investing in yourself.
Yeah, like that's literally what made me quit. Like I broke my ankle, right? I broke my ankle and I had on a cast. I broke my ankle and I was still working on my job and I was out on short-term disability. And my doctor put me out because we was cool, even though I could have totally went to work. But broken ankle, I'm not going to work. And I will never forget this. I didn't have a car at the time. And I caught a bus, a train, and another bus and an Uber to an open mic. And I did 5 minutes way on the other side of town. It's about 25 minutes away from where I live. But on public transportation, it took me about 2 hours to get there. And then I did the 5 minutes. And then I did the same process to go back home. I caught the bus downtown to the train, to the bus station, and then caught an Uber because I was casted. I couldn't walk from the bus stop to the house. So I sat there and I said, I did all of that. I did 4 hours of commuting to do 5 minutes on stage with a broken ankle. Fuck that job. I'm not going back to that job. Because the amount of work that I put in for that 5 minutes and the way that I felt doing that 8, 10, 12 hours, I was like, I'm not going back to that job. I never quit to this day. I never quit. I just never went back. I don't even know. I might still work there. I don't know. I just never went back. I didn't tell
got
him
one last question.
I didn't tell him I wouldn't come back.
You didn't tell him nothing, huh? Just that's black folks. Just go, hey.
I just didn't go back.
You show back up like I'm back. We got one last question. Travis, where you at, Travis? There we go. What's up, Travis? How you doing, man?
This is definitely not gonna be as
there we go.
Can you hear me? It's definitely not gonna be as inspiration provoking or thought provoking as the last one. I have a question a while ago, so I just have it was based on the your favorite DJ's favorite DJ question he asked earlier about could somebody write for you, and you said that's fine. So I was just saying if that's fine, are they able to be a top tier in your opinion if they have somebody write for you, like ghostwriting type of stuff? Like I know Busta Rhymes came out and it's like saying like kind of like the Drake stuff where it's like you got a ghostwriter and it's like can you be the best in comedy if you got a comedy ghostwriter type of deal?
Excellent question. So when I think of writing, right, like if I had a writer, I don't think of this person literally sat down and wrote jokes and said, here you go, Ty, learn this and perform it. My idea of someone writing with me is me saying, hey guys, this is what I've been working on. This is the premise of this joke. This is the story, and tagging it up. And me personally, I don't want nobody writing a whole material a bit for me.
Right.
I don't know that whole can you be the best part of it. If you're the best, then people don't know. Like they can't tell whether you wrote it or whether somebody else wrote it, right? So that means you're at least the best performer. You know what I mean?
Like Richard Pryor is the best, and we know Paul Mooney wrote for him, but nobody could bring that to life like Richard Pryor. Point blank. Period.
You see, yeah. So, and plus, I don't want to say nothing that I might have to apologize for 10 years from now on this thing. So
it is recorded.
So but see, I know people that have people that write for them, and like I said, like I've seen somebody, I've tagged up somebody's thing and been like, hey, you know what, you need to add this to it, or you should do this. And they be like, for real? Like, I remember I did it to a big name. I'm not gonna say his name, but a big name. And he was like, how much you want for that? I was like, what do you mean? I was like, here, just, he was like, no, somebody should pay you for that. And I was like, well, I don't do it. He was like, so you don't do this on stage at all? And I was like, no, nigga, I just saw you do your set and I thought this would go good with that. He was like, so you don't say it. Nigga, do you want it or not? And he was like, yeah. And he gave me $500, like right there outside of the club. He was like, hey, thank you, appreciate that. And I was just like, thank you, nigga. And then I hurried him up. Cause I didn't want him to change his mind and be like, you know what, bitch, give me that. Nope. So, you know.
Thanks, Travis. Yo, give it up for Ty Davis, y'all. Make some noise out there. Make some noise. Hi.
Me sidekick. That made me feel good inside.
Yeah, you did a great show. Tell them where you can find you at if they don't already know. I mean, everybody already knows, but you know.
So I am currently shadow banned on Instagram and TikTok. However,
what is shadow banned?
That means that they are suppressing my content. So like if I go live, it's not going to show you that I'm live. You just going to have to stumble upon my shit. They or like they're not showing my content, like my reels, my pictures, nothing. But I don't care because I'm still gonna post because niggas still gonna look. So but you can find me comedian Ty Davis across the board. That's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. No, I ain't got Snapchat no more. Okay, this is what you do, because you know I'm old and I'm getting hot. Go to Instagram, comedian Ty Davis. The link tree will put you onto all of my stuff, my YouTube. So go to Instagram, my link tree will put you everywhere else.
Yes. Oh, dope. Yo, make some noise out there. Again, please. For Ty Davis, man. Thank you, Ty.
Yes.
And if you missed any of our past episodes, they're available on YouTube channel, DJ Sidekick, DJ SKEG. We had great people. We're going to go into the Wind Me Down right now. Share it. Tell somebody about it. Let's go.